So, some time ago, I took a look at a little anthology series called VHS. I covered the original trilogy of works, sadly finding most of them to be lacking. The first film was overall more annoying, while the second film was significantly better. The climax of the trilogy was a mixed bag, with some very fun portions and some that were just boring or outright nonsensical. Come the end of Viral, we see that the curse, or whatever it is, has gone, well, viral, resulting in the world going mad. So when Shudder obtained the rights and wants to make more, what do? You go back to the 90s. VHS 94 is a 2021 American found footage anthology horror film being written by David Bruckner and Brad Miska. Premiering at Fantastic Fest September 26, 2021, it would also be screened at Beyond Fest October 4th that same year. Shudder would stream it 2 days later, becoming the biggest premiere of the service, and only being surpassed by its follow-up, VHS 99, the following year. Originally, David Bruckner of Amateur Night from the original VHS was set to handle the foil story. He would drop out to work on Hellraiser 2022. Also, Radio Silence, who did 10/31/98, had to depart to focus on Scream 2022. The foil would ultimately be handled by Jennifer Reeder. The film sticks to the general flow of the prior entries. A foil story follows a small group, all the while we cut away to tales of horror and suffering. In the first two, it was watching tapes inside a scary house. Viral was a bit more ambitious, with overlapping segments, characters, and other details as chaos swept through the city. 94 follows a SWAT team doing a drug bust, but inside they find something much worse.
7, 6, 5.
I enjoy the concept of anthology horror, but typically it falls into the trapping of a few stories being good, while the rest drag it down. Does VHS 94 manage to pull out with all winners? Or will it be a slog of half-assed stories that shouldn't have been involved with this project to begin with? I mean, the IMDb reviews are looking like a bell curve, so it should be interesting.
29.9 means erase the fucking tape.
Starting off with Holy Hell, written and directed by Jennifer Reeder, we follow our SWAT team. The leader, Slater, played by Drew Vigever, Petro, played by Kimmy Choi, Nash, played by Nicolette Parse, Sprayberry, played by Thomas Mitchell, Spivvy, played by Rodrigo Fernandez Stoll, Arsler, played by Dax Ravina, and finally, our cameraman, Gary, played by Kevin P. Gable. A crack SWAT team is here conducting a dangerous drug bust, and at least a few think shit might go south. Going deeper in, they are greeted by voices on speakers, TV static, and corpses. The setting is pretty creepy and remind me of Rec 2 and Saw 2. Well, everything is foobar. At least the tunes are banging.
This is a crime scene. Do not touch anything.
But enough of that. We need to talk about the coming internet and Ratman in Storm Drain, brought to us by Chloe Okuno. Holly Marciano and her cameraman Jeff, played by Gina Phillips and Christian Potenza. The two of them are out investigating reports of a rat man. All they have to go on is crude drawings and strange testimonials.
It's time for sinners and elitists to get what's coming to them.
Finding evidence of life, Holly's convinced the true story is one of exposing the harsh life of sewer dwellers. That is until our duo finds someone.
Can I ask you what your name is?
Run, bitch! Run!
If you're spouting shit that black, you should probably see a doctor. But I don't think that's what the locals have dragged our group to see. Oh, hey, it's the Holy Man.
But we're going to tell our own story.
And the story is Ratma, played by Thiago dos Santos. It's a very good design, and you can clearly see why it's iconic not just with this film, but the franchise as a whole. That said, it really doesn't do much. It appears, drools a little, screeches a lot, and after Jeff discovers he's not a dragon, Holly is presented to the beast. Oh, but she's okay, just dazed, confused, and her cameraman is still missing after several days. Though it seems she's caught something while down there, and she really likes this new Ratma thing.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Back in with the foil, our squad is finding rooms full of bodies, yet no hostiles. And just as quickly as we got here, we transition to another tape. The Empty Wake, or as I also saw just The Wake, brought to us by Simone Barrett, and starring Kyle Legend as Haley. Pretty simple setup, the family wants a wake during nighttime, and Haley here is assigned to handle it. Only oddity is how fucked up the deceased is.
Jesus, that's heavy.
Well, he was a big boy. Parts of him that were left, anyway.
Well, storm's hitting us pretty hard, so guess we'll just leave now. Also, maybe it's just me, but this portion is really cozy. I think it's the rainstorm and the lightning. I could fall asleep like our stitched-together companion over there.
I'm working all night.
This short does take its time with a fair bit of build-up, strange bumps, lights flickering, and still, no one showing up. Until an elderly man walks in to pay his respects, like it was a drive-thru. Also, he might have chained the door shut, and if it ain't the man of the hour himself.
Some kind of a mistake at the morgue.
So I love this segment. They made remarks about him being super torn up, and now parts are just falling off him as he stumbles around. It's disgusting and cool. Plus, Haley is rather smart using the audio system to distract the creature. Not smart enough to notice avoiding the eyeball. Our tape ends, and we get one of the funniest lines of the collection.
We don't need more tech, we need a grave digger!
Not a lot happens outside of some teammates not answering their comms before we're put into the next tape. The subject. This one is an effects-driven ride, as the creator, played by Bundy Ross, has gone all mad scientist, chopping people up and combining them with machines to mix results. He's so mad and illegal that this is the only portion of the film not shot in Toronto, instead being filmed over in the lands of Indonesia. Checks out if you ask me. We follow his twisted experiments on a few victims, primarily S.A., played by Shani Sri Maharani. I think I butchered that name, but not as much as the corpse. It's a grimy series of events, and given the mechanical practical effects with it, I'm reminded of Frankenstein's army, though there will be a little more CGI in this one. And S.A. needs a hero, in this case being the captain, and his cameraman Jono. Also, hero might not be the best term, as he's going to put her down. Which, to be fair, is pretty merciful. Though there's more to debate over than you think. One power outage and S.A. flees. Then all hell breaks loose as alarms start blaring, traps are triggered, and other mechanical terrors start killing. Luckily, the captain's packing some frags, the weakness of every mechanical nightmare, including them electric sheep. Now, back in the day, I was convinced this was the foil, as it's pretty easily spliced up like one, with constant time skips and transition cuts. That frag explodes so hard, it sent us back to S.A., who was getting some time to check out her effects. Also, weapons. Yeah, despite some of the effects being really good, the usage of CGI is very noticeable in several spots. Every time I see this guy get riddled, it feels so off between her firing and his reaction. Plus the extra bit at the end, I can't tell if it's done for some levity or what, but it clashes with the tone of the entire segment. Anyways, it's fighting time as S.A. blasts her way through the remaining officers. It even comes with a noob tube. Stumbling upon Jono, he first wants to lead her out, but Captain attacks, damn near killing S.A. That is until Jono saves the day, for some reason. But he too is attacked and killed by the other experiment. This leaves a wounded S.A. to stumble out of the hellish massacre. Cutting back to our other police force, it's shown Gary has been killed by Nash and Petro. Teammates are missing. What does Slater do? He sits way too close to the TV. That can kill you, you know. Just like a shotgun to the head in our next tape. Terror. This fun little bundle of sunshine is from Ryan Prows. Here we follow a group of domestic terrorists who are planning to blow up a federal building. There'll be some sort of abomination brought in through the loading dock. Also, hi there, Slater. He's brought some early Christmas presents like a full fucking M2 Browning.
Iraqi blood up. Oh, fuck yeah. Fucking Desert Storm. Like desert.
I'm not asking how he got that out, but I'd like to know. Also, note the leader of this ragtag group is the Commandant, played by Christian Lloyd. So what exactly is this weapon abomination they speak of? Well, that guy they keep executing keeps coming back, and each time they put him down, they drain his blood. Turns out anything with his blood has a very violent reaction to sunlight.
Get in there! Don't be such a fucking...
Yeah, so vampires in this film are essentially thermonuclear warheads. Well, the plan is coming together pretty much. How could it possibly be fucked up? Booze. Booze and poor decisions. Come the next day, we have a problem.
Do not fire until I give the order!
So that's cool, but IQs seriously start to drop here. Somehow the 50 cal gunner hits two dudes completely in the different direction, then you have the guy covered in vamp blood who steps out into the sunlight.
Stop moving!
I do like to search for the suckhead, but what does this film portray vampires to be? Absolute monsters. Going up, they don't last long, and with only Commandant left, the Beast gives a rather ironic death. So that leaves Slater alone in the center of a snuff film.
This is a far-out fetish film cult.
He's dead, and there's a 6th tape. Just a fictional advertisement starring Connor Sweeney and handled by Steven Kostanski. It was called Veggie Masher. It was silly.
Ordinary drab vegetables into a tasty, mouth-watering paste.
That brings us to the end of VHS 94, and honestly, it's the best one I've seen so far. It's a lot less headache-inducing than the first, and I liked it doubling down on connecting the stories, though they don't really do much outside of one detail. The biggest connection is just that you transition from the foil to whatever screen people were watching. Storm Drain was a fun and to-the-point horror short. It doesn't do much in terms of story, instead coming off like some sort of creepypasta or the like. I did enjoy it not being a slog, and instead getting to the iconic creature effect with just enough build-up. I like the ending most of all. Can't explain why, it's just that I always find her delivery of the Ratma celebrations to be hilarious.
And of course, to see who will be crowned the festival's largest Ratma.
Also, the whole segment reminds me of the video game Michigan Report from Hell, a game we might be covering soon. The Empty Wake is a clear high note. Still really self-contained with just enough plot to push it along. I simply found it very cozy and fun. Watching the zombie fall apart as it chases her is hilarious, as well as satisfying for any gorehounds. The subject is very clearly a standout both in terms of it having the most crammed in it, as well as being of good quality. I understand why it was confusing for the foil. Plenty of time skips and cuts that would easily have served as a foil, with some minor transitional tweaks or simply cutting back and forth. Terror is probably the weakest. It's fine for what it is, and I like the monster design. But it just goes strangely dumb at the end. The getting drunk and screwing up the plan part I can follow. However, I don't see how the 50 took out those 2 guys, or why shooting him in the head was required. It was just dumb. Lance lays the foil, but outside of some very creepy atmosphere, it doesn't do much. I'll admit it's also a bit confusing keeping track of people. It doesn't show everyone's fate as some are off screen. That's fine and it does its job, though the connection of the stories was meant to be the selling point. I just didn't get it. Honestly, Viral had better connections. All we get here are TV transitions into the film. That's basically just what the first 2 did. If anything, the terror connection has the film going out on a much weaker note. I would have rather placed the subject at the end. It was simply the better of the 2, while Storm Drain and The Wake were solid openers. Also, the Veggie Masher was a highlight. Really brought the whole film together. I might be coming off a bit negative here, but let me say that VHS 94 is absolutely worth checking out. It's an awesome, fun, and gory ride. Each story manages to be enjoyable even at the collection's lowest point. If you need something spooky to pop on during Halloween, then this collection is one to pop in. Just be kind and rewind.
We don't need more tech, we need a grave digger!